First of all, I want to thank all of you for coming. The principal of East Paulding High School is here, Mr. Vaness. The school board attorney said he would attend. I don't think he's here yet. I'm Dick Donovan, district attorney for the Paulding Judicial Circuit. Since we're a single county circuit, that means I'm the district attorney for Paulding County. And as bad a pun as this may seem, the first thing I'm going to do is call the roll. I need to notice here, we had some letters that weren't picked up. We had some people that did not respond. Some of your attorneys are sitting back in the back. When I call your name, if you would, stand up. My secretary, operations manager, is going to make a note of your presence. Christian Armani Browder. Mr. Browder. Jamie Raquel Browder. Mr. Browder. Avery Tyler Brown. Mr. Brown. Deanna Marie Dane Grenion. You didn't think I was going to get that right? Did I get it right? Kind of. Courtney Reed Grant. She's here. She's here? Okay. Kelsey Nicole Kirk. Mr. Kirk. Michael Chance Cornegay. Mr. Cornegay. Hunter Harry Ledbetter. Mr. Ledbetter. Walter Lewis. Mr. Lewis. Reginald Andrew Liss. Mr. Liss. Harold G. Nowden.
Harold Ferguson here on behalf of Mr. Nowden.
Is he here?
Yes, sir.
That's what I want to know. I understand there's some attorneys here. Brandon Lee Owensby. Mr. Owensby. William Scott Patrick. Mr. Patrick.
Here.
Well, come on up front if you want to. It's easy to hear. Hovey Casmino Martinez. Joshua Leroy Pete. Mr. Pete. Jeremy Rogers. Mr. Rogers. Andre Bryce Shuttles. Mr. Shuttles. Tay Terrell, or Terrell. Which is Terrell. Courtney Lynn Turner. Ms. Turner. Olamide White Akinron. Madison Wood. Ms. Wood. Zachariah Zazversky. Thank you. Nicholas Zeman. Your attorney's in Paulding County?
Yes.
Yeah, I spoke to him.
Okay.
Okay, I've had a nice conversation with him. I knew he would not be here and you would. Jacob Todd Zimmerman. Mr. Zimmerman. Who else said, somebody, are you here for him, Chad? Thank you. Okay, well, please, everybody's here. All of you that responded that are here today because you were arrested after the incident in Paulding County, East Paulding High School, were charged by the sheriff with a felony. A felony that the law says is punishable by 1 to 5 years in prison. It's not funny. The Georgia General Assembly thought it was a serious crime. That's why they made interference with government property a felony and said that a 1 to 5 year sentence would be an appropriate assessment. I want to make sure everybody understands this. What the school board, what Mr. Vaness, what the Paulding School District Board of Education has done has nothing whatsoever to do with what the district attorney does. It's kind of like the driver's license and a DUI. I can prosecute you for DUI, but I have no authority whatsoever to suspend your license. That's done by the DDS, Driver Services. What the school did has nothing to do with what I do or with my responsibilities. I need to tell you a couple of things. First of all, I had a lot of calls from people in this county. They're all concerned about this. The majority of the people who called, and there were men and women, I think probably a cross-section of ages and socioeconomic status, all said that they didn't think it was appropriate that you have to put up with a charge or that you be found guilty of a felony and pay that penalty. None, not one of the callers said dismiss the charges. They just said they thought something less than a felony would be appropriate. After I heard from all of these people, and during the time I was hearing from these people, I met with my chief assistant, my senior assistant district attorneys, in fact, all 10 of my assistant district attorneys. We sat around the conference table in my office for probably an hour one afternoon, and I assessed their response to these charges. Their responses ranged all the way from, let's reduce it to a misdemeanor, let them plead guilty to a misdemeanor, to let them plead guilty to a felony. That's what the First Offender Act is for. Some suggested pretrial diversion. None of the 10, and include me, 11, none of the 11 of us in that room ever suggested that the charges be dismissed. So understand that just wasn't part of the discussion. We have in my office a combined total of almost 200 years of criminal trial work. So we're not new at this. We know how to assess the value of the case. Now the final decision lies with me because that's what the people of the Paulding County elected me to do. After listening to the callers and after the discussion that I had with my assistants, I decided to ask you to come here today to give you an opportunity, all 24 of you. And let me point out that Mr. Walter Lewis, Mr. Jeremy Rogers, you've already graduated. School can't sanction you because they don't have any authority over you. But because of a very wise young man who was one of my assistant DAs, you're all going to be treated exactly the same if you want to be. I'm going to offer you an opportunity, each and every one of you, to go into our pretrial diversion program. This program offers this. Your cases will be dismissed without going to trial or having an accusation filed or having an indictment presented and handed up by the grand jury. I'm offering each and every one of you this because I honestly believe that you're not criminals. You're just not old enough to appreciate the consequences of your acts. Some people break the law because they're criminals. Some people break the law because they just don't know better or they're stupid. I'm not calling you stupid. If you want to apply that appellation to yourself, that's fine. I'm not going to say you're stupid. To be honest with you, after I looked at the video, I'm surprised that at least one of you didn't get shot, either by the sheriff or by a homeowner. I really am surprised. I was a police officer for a long time, and I'm not sure exactly how I might have responded to that. If you accept and sign up, and by the way, Nicole, no, not Nicole, there she is. This is a lady that is our representative from the pretrial diversion program. She'll talk to you today if you want to talk to her. If you accept my offer to go into the pretrial diversion program, here's what you're going to have to do. Listen up. And I'm going to pass out a sheet that has both, I'm going to ask Arlene and whoever else will help Arlene pass out to each of the 24 defendants and a parent if necessary, this that I'm about to read to you, and also all the laws that are applicable so you understand what you might be facing if you chose not to go into this program. If you go into this program, you'll have to do the following. Perform 400 hours of community service at places that are approved by the pretrial diversion supervision services Inc. Yes, that's 10 weeks and 40 hours a week. I need help in my office. Arlene tells me all the time, I could sure use some help toting boxes and doing some grunt work around here. So any place that Nicole says is an appropriate place for you to do your 400 hours of community service is fine. You're going to have to pay supervision services $420, made payable to Supervision Services Inc. for their monitoring you during the 12 months you're going to be on this probation. You're going to have to pay a $300 administration fee that the law calls for to the Paulding County Board of Commissioners. You're also going to have to pay your fair share of the $7,500 restitution You will be jointly and severally liable, which means if some of you don't pay it, the rest of you will have to pay all of it. But you will agree to do that. I wish I could figure out a way to make you bring me a paycheck made out to you, so I know that you were paying this, not your parents. But I suspect that most of you have already had this conversation with your parents. The last thing is you're going to agree, if you enter into this program, you're going to agree to give truthful testimony on the trial of any of your co-defendants who decide not to take this offer. You'll have 12 months to complete this program. That'll be Nicole, and that's your boss standing there with her. Supervision Services, they will keep track of that for you. If you complete all of the provisions of the pretrial diversion program, and all of those provisions are completely satisfied, then we'll dismiss the warrants against you. This is not negotiable. One size fits all. Take it or leave it, including the 2 graduates who have not been sanctioned. I have to treat all 24 of you the same. If you do not complete the program, if you do not satisfy all of the provisions for any reason within 12 months, we terminate the agreement. In the state of Georgia, that's me, because the decision is mine as the district attorney, may, at my sole discretion, proceed with the prosecution of the case. That means drafting an indictment and handing it to the grand jury and asking them to return the true bill. I have asked to be passed out all of the relevant criminal statutes. If you don't have a copy now, raise your hand, or if you want a copy, you have those. David, you got those? Anybody who doesn't have a copy of the relevant criminal statutes, we'll give you one, again, so you can see what was possible. If you decide not to accept this offer for pretrial diversion, your case is going to be processed, just as I said before. We'll draft an indictment and present it to the Paulding grand jury. With all due respect to Mr. Tate, who is a good friend of mine, whom I've known for more than 20 years, yes, I can prove a felony. I just don't want to be put to that test. Questions? And let me answer the first question that the lawyers are going to ask without putting them to that trouble. No, there will not be an expungement. Now, anybody else? I'll answer the question. Yes, ma'am.
I have 2 that are supposed to leave for college in July and August. Does the pretrial diversion prohibit them from leaving?
As long as they complete 400 hours of community service and do what Nicole tells them to do, I don't care where they are.
So
Whatever institution, my church, for example, might say, okay, come mow the grass, help us out. If that's okay with Nicole, it's fine by me. It's all going to be up to her. If you can find places where you're going to go to college that will allow you to perform community service and send that lady a letter, am I right? Then you're good to go. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
$420 a month.
No, ma'am. $420 for the year. Yes, ma'am. $400 hours of community service, $420 for the entire year supervision by supervision services, one $300 fee to Paulding County, and $124 for whatever portion of the damage. And that's the last figure I had, Mr. Moneyhouse, is that still correct? $7,500. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, when you say the charges are going to be dropped, they'll still have an arrest record, but they will
Yes,
not
ma'am.
have the felony charges and such.
That's correct.
altogether.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Stand up.
I'm going into the military. I'm going to need security clearance. Like, is it going to show that I was charged with a felony? Or
It's
is it
going to
just
show
gonna
that you
I was
were charged
arrested
and the charges were dismissed.
and they were dismissed?
And you can make whatever explanation that they ask you for. Anybody else? Nicole, are you prepared to talk to these people today? Now, let me tell you this. You don't have to jump right up today. You've got from now till Monday, the 30th of April. Gives you a little more than 2 weeks. If I have not heard from you affirmatively, you have not signed up, and I'm going to ask Nicole to tell me who signs up. If you have not signed up by the 30th of April, deal's off. We'll draft an indictment, present it to the grand jury. Are there any other questions about what has to be done, or what might happen, or what could happen? Ask me now. This is your golden opportunity. Anybody? Okay. These are my three senior assistant district attorneys: David Holmes, David Lyles, Tom Cole. More talk to them, that's fine. These charges will be distributed to those 3 courtrooms in whatever number of clerks is appropriate if you don't sign up for pretrial diversion. Okay? Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. I hope this has been a productive meeting for you.